everyone. If you're just joining, I'm going to be doing a craft here in a couple minutes. Just getting set up here. Okay. If you're just joining me, please say hello so I know you're here. It's always better whenever I can interact with everyone and say hello. Okay, so I know that several of you have seen these. These are really big right now at the dollar store. I have this little apron on here so I don't get any paint on my clothes. I think here we go. That's better. Hi everyone. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be painting this. I need to turn this down. Give me 1 second. I'm going to be painting this. I need to turn my volume down on my tablet so I don't get any feedback. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this from the other. So I don't get any feedback. Hi Beth, how are you today? These little clay pots, you can get them at the dollar store, you can get them Walmart, different places. A lot of places have them right now. And what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to take this chalk paint. This is Waverly. You can get this at pretty much, you know, you can use any chalk paint, but I got this one at the dollar store. I got this at Walmart. It's Waverly. It's just a white chalk paint. You can really get it from anywhere. That's from Walmart though. And I think this is a big one. I go through it a lot. So, yeah, I get the big ones. I have a lot of different colors in it. I really love this stuff because I like chalk paint. So I go through it. This is the cashew color. April and I did a live with the canning jars, and we used, this is called ballerina slipper. So you can do a lot of different things with these. Hi Erin, how are you? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little clay pot here and I'm going to paint the bottom of it. I'm just going around from the top of the rim, well, the bottom of the rim actually, and I'm just going to take the chalk paint and go around, and I'm going to paint just the bottom below the rim, and you'll see why as we go here. We're not going to be painting the top because we're going to do something else with the top. So if you're just joining, say hello so that I know that you're watching. Facebook is wonderful, but it doesn't always tell you who's watching. You just see that people are watching. I don't know about you, but I am so ready for spring. I just got back from a beautiful vacation. I was in Orlando, Florida. I just did a live on that. If you didn't catch it and you're planning on going on vacation, you might want to check that video out because the resort that we stayed at was absolutely wonderful and it was very, very budget friendly. So check it out when you get a chance. I'm good, Erin. How are you? For those of you who don't know, Lizzie and Erin are offering a painting class on their page. You can go there to get more details. Maybe Erin can provide the link for us down below. It is posted on my page, but if you're interested in learning how to paint furniture, Erin and Lizzie are awesome at painting furniture. Erin actually paints for some different places, and I'm sorry, is it consignments or, but she sells the furniture that she paints, and she paints some gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. So go on their page and check them out. And if you're interested in learning how to do that, they are awesome teachers. Oh, you are. Are you guys going to Disney, Aaron? Or are you guys just going down to Orlando? See, we opted out of Disney this trip. We decided not to do Disney right now because we had too many other things going on this summer that we want to do, and I didn't want to spend that much money right now. So, but I'm ready for spring. We came home to snow and cold weather. It's supposed to warm up a little bit this week. So, how is it where all of you are today? I'm anxious to see some of those spring flowers starting to pop up. We saw, oh, you're going to Universal? Okay, cool. Yeah, we went to Universal when we were there last time, and I'll be honest, we were not big fans of Universal, but I think the reason why is because our kids were younger at the time, and there was a lot that they couldn't do. So if your kids are a little bit older, they might enjoy it a little bit more. We were just disappointed because there was a lot that really wasn't for their age group at the time that we were there. So it's nice to stay at some of the resorts, if you can stay at the Disney resorts. It's nice because a lot of things are inclusive when you're staying at the Disney resorts or Universal resorts, but it definitely is a little bit more pricey. So if you're just jumping on, say hello so I know that you're watching. What we're doing is I am painting these clay pots, and we're going to do something really fun with them here. As soon as I'm done painting them, you're going to see what we're going to do. I'm going to share here. I'm not painting the top of the rim, I'm just painting around it, and you'll see why here. This chalk paint is really forgiving and it dries very quickly, so it's kind of nice to be able to just slap it on there, and we don't have to really get super neat. We don't have to be super neat with it because what we're doing is going to kind of cover the imperfections. So I'm just trying to get it on as thick as I want it, and then as soon as I get it as thick as I want, then I'm going to show you what we're going to do to the top of it. These are just really a fun little craft to do. You don't really have to get crazy with them. You can, you know, these are so cheap. You can buy them for $1 at the dollar store. So, oh, thank you. You know what? I got this apron at TJ Maxx. She just said that she loves my apron. I got this apron at TJ Maxx. Probably, I don't even know. It's been probably 10 years ago now since I bought it. And honestly, I didn't use it until I started the blog here. And then I started using it just so I didn't get like paint on me or on my clothing. Okay, so I have this twine here. You can get this at different places. This is hemp twine. I bought this roll, I believe I got this at Michael's, maybe. Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You can get it really anywhere. They do have a thicker one if you're interested and you want a thicker one. They have it at the Dollar Tree also. But I like the ones that's a little bit thinner. I use this a lot, especially when I'm making bows. Hi, Lizzie. So all we're going to do now is we're going to take this. I'm going to set it down here and unroll it just a little. And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. I'm hoping. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hot glue and I'm going to wrap this around the top of the rim here on our little clay pot. So I got my trusty little hot glue gun here. This is a cordless hot glue gun that I got off Amazon. I love it. I love it. I use it for everything. So we're just going to get started here. Be careful not to burn your fingers. you don't want to get too crazy. Don't make it super thick, because I made one previously and I put the hot glue on a little bit too thick, and you don't want to do that because then the hot glue is going to show through the twine. So you're just going to put like a light layer around, and you're just going to keep doing this until you wrap it all the way around the pot. And we're just going to keep going until it gets to the very top. So we're just going to keep putting the glue on a little bit. My hand's shaking, I don't know why. Maybe because I'm afraid I'm going to burn myself and embarrass myself in front of all of you. So yeah. How are you doing, Linda? How are you doing today? It's good to have you. Let me know where you're from, everybody. It's nice to know where everybody's from. I know Lizzie and Aaron. Lizzie is up in New York now. Aaron, you're down in Georgia, right? Where are you from, Linda? If you're just joining us, we're making a little clay pot. We painted the bottom of it with the chalk paint, and now I'm just taking twine. I'm gluing the twine around the top part of the pot. This is a really cheap craft. I bought a set of 2 of these little clay pots from the dollar store. They came 2 in a pack. They have the bigger ones, they have smaller ones. So whatever your taste is, you can get either or. The little ones are really cute too. Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, we just went through there when we ate at this amazing restaurant. I was trying to think of what it was called. I think it was called Southern Image. Oh my goodness. If you come through that area, you absolutely want to eat there because it's amazing. Hi, Evie. How are you? Evie is my cousin's daughter. We are just painting this clay pot, and we're going to put something really fun. And I have to be honest, this wasn't my idea. Michigan. It's probably really cool up there still, right? I'm guessing it's probably a little cooler there than it is here right now. So we're just taking the twine. We painted the bottom of the pot with chalk paint. And now we're taking the twine and we're using the hot glue. And we're gluing the twine to the top. We're just wrapping it around, if you can see what I'm doing here. Wrapping the twine around and gluing it as we go. And then there are some really fun sayings that you can write on these little pots. You can use a Sharpie, you can paint it on. I've seen some really cute ones. The one that I did previously says, it says, say hello to my little friend. I thought that was cute, and I'm going to put an aloe plant inside of it. So I've seen several of them. I've seen ones that say, what were some of the other funny sayings they had? One was, I wish I could turn back time, only it was time spelt like the herb time. Like T-H-I-M-E, I think it is. Just some really cute little sayings. One was, they had one that had deal or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'll have to pull it up. There was a lot of them. If you go on Pinterest, this is where I got the idea from, is Pinterest. Pinterest has some really, really neat ideas. I'm kind of a Pinterest addict. So I get a lot of these ideas off of Pinterest. And I didn't cut this. this twine, I'm just rolling it as I go here, and towards the end I'll cut it because it's so much easier to do it that way. I'm gonna have to grab another thing of glue though. I'm getting a little short on my glue. So that's what we got so far. Let me grab another glue stick here. These glue sticks are the smaller. It's full-size glue sticks, but they're the half stick, so you got to replace it a little bit more than you do the larger ones. You'll find these glue sticks are a little bit old that I'm using, so if you're using glue sticks, they're a little bit older. You're going to find that the glue it gets thick. It comes out a little thick. So I don't recommend using really old glue sticks. Make sure you get some. You can buy glue sticks at the dollar store, coincidentally. These glue sticks that I have actually came from the Dollar Tree years and years ago. And I had so many of them, I was trying to use them. But honestly, if I had something like really expensive that I was working on, I wouldn't want to use. I definitely want to buy some new ones because, like I said, they get a little bit, they tend to dry a little bit thicker. And some of the glue sticks are better than others. Oh, deal or no deal? Yes, yes. What's your deal? That is funny. I like that one, Erin. Yeah, there's some really cute ones. I went on Pinterest and I was looking at them, and there was all kinds on there. I don't remember who it was. There were several girls that made these. But yeah, there's some really cute sayings on there that you could go with. I'm just going to use a Sharpie on mine. You don't have to use a Sharpie, but that's what I'm using because I don't have a real steady hand when it comes to painting, like lettering and stuff like that. I'm good when it comes to like big paint projects, but I'm not real good at doing lettering. I think it was Lizzie posted something a while back that she did, and she did lettering, and it was so awesome. Like, I don't know how she did it so amazing. It looked like it was perfect. She did say she went over it several times, but that she had alcohol or something on hand, because I've done mugs before. Like, have you seen the mugs that you can make for Christmas and different things for gifts? I've seen those done. When you get to the top here, like I'm getting close to the top, there's places that you might have to fill in the gap just a little bit. You may not be able to fit like a full length of twine the whole way around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off here like this, and I'm going to finish up what I'm doing here. I'm going to try to get it to the place where I was in the back so that it finishes. I want the one side to look more finished than the other side. So I'm going to finish this top here. Hi, Andy. I am making a clay pot. We took some chalk paint and we painted the bottom of the clay pot. You can see here. And then we're taking this hemp twine that I have and we're wrapping it around the top and gluing it with hot glue. The top is just a little bit unfinished, so I'm going to take one more strand and cut and put around the top part. So I'm just going to measure this. Let's see, because I may not need to go the whole way, but I want to have the entire length. So take it like that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take where I finished off here, and this very top here, I'm going to go around and I'm going to make sure that it has a finished look at the very top. And I'm just doing this a little bit at a time. I know it's hard to see at this angle. I'm just doing this a little bit at a time at the top, because if you put the glue on too soon, and you don't get it wrapped fast enough, the glue dries. And then it's really hard once you get that glue on there to glue over top of it because it doesn't stick as well. So it's such an easy craft. You can buy these pots. These ones were from the dollar store, from the Dollar Tree, and they were 2 for $1. So it's a very affordable craft to do, and you can do it. I would say probably older kids you could do it with. I wouldn't want to do this. Sorry, my battery thing came up. I wouldn't want to do it with little kids because obviously there's glue involved. This hot glue can be pretty hot to deal with when you got littles. So I would say if you're going to do this with the kids, just make sure that the kids are a little bit older when you're doing this. Okay, so we got that done. And it obviously, like I said, the glue that I was using was a little bit older, so it's not really as nice as what it would be if I had fresh glue, because the glue that, when you're using hot glue sticks and they're a little bit older, they tend to dry heavier and thicker. So, but you're not really going to be able to tell that. These are going to be sitting up on a window ledge. So how cute is that? Now what we're going to do is we're going to write a little saying on here. I've got a little Sharpie, and oh yeah, Ray Dunn. That's what it was. You're right. And it turned out so nice. I love that craft that she did. Let's see. What's your deal? I'm going to use the what's your deal on this one because I have some herbs that I'm going to plant in these. So yeah, let's do the what's your deal on this one. I'm just going to take this Sharpie and I'm going to write on it very neatly, hopefully. What's your deal? There you go. I know it's backwards, you can't really tell, but this one says what's your deal on it. And I'm going to put the dill seeds in it and plant the dill seeds in that one. And then I have this one and it says say hello to my little friend. So for $1 and some odd change, you can make these little planters yourself. All you need is some chalk paint, or really any paint. It doesn't even have to be chalk paint. I like chalk paint. So, and I'm going to put these up on my windowsill and plant some little herbs in it. So that's all I have for you. But have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining. Hi, everyone. Give me 1 second here. I'm getting set up. Okay, I think that we're good to go. I wanted to be able... Hey, everyone. I need to... 1 second. We're getting set up. Mute my phone here so that I'm not getting a lot of back feed, so... Okay, I think that we're good to go. Okay, here we go. I got this set up, so if you're joining me, please say hello so that I know that you're here. Trying to get a little bit situated better here because this is the first time that I've actually videoed from my new tablet. So give me a second here. I'm trying to make sure that you can see me okay. I might have to adjust this just a little bit because I'm kind of up a little bit too high. Okay. There we go. All right, so I wanted to get on here today to share with you a little bit about what we did on vacation. And the reason being is that very typically whenever we go on vacation, I plan ahead of time what we're going to be doing and where we're going to stay and all of that. Now, usually we stay at condos, and I book online. So um, usually whenever we're getting ready to leave, about a month before that, I'll go on and I'll start checking out different sites to make sure that I'm able to get hotel arrangements or condo reservations for a good price. Um, I try really hard to save as much money as possible because obviously when you're on vacation, you want to be able to enjoy it, but you don't want to go broke while you're trying to enjoy it. So this was a great vacation. We had a wonderful time. I had planned everything out in advance, and the place that we stayed at was amazing. We had never stayed there before. Um, but I wanted to make sure that it was kid friendly because obviously there was 4 kids going along. My sister's 2 granddaughters and my boys were also going, and I wanted it to be something that was kid friendly. Sorry, I have this on because I'm going to be crafting too. Um, I wanted it to be kid friendly, but I also wanted to be able to do something that was a little bit more budget wise. So here's my first tip. When you're looking for a place to stay while you're on vacation, the first thing that you want to make sure is that um, wherever you're staying, it includes a breakfast or a meal of some kind, because this is generally one of the best ways to save money while you're on vacation. If you can stay somewhere that has a really good breakfast, you can save a tremendous amount of money during the week, because obviously if you're staying somewhere for 5 days or 7 days, whatever it is, if you're going to go out to breakfast every morning, um, that adds up for 4 kids and 2 adults even. I mean, you're talking, $50 to $60 just in a breakfast alone. So the place that we stayed at was wonderful. We had amazing breakfasts every single morning. It was a buffet style breakfast, and it was set up beautifully. There was juice, there was fruits and vegetables, there was cereal, there was really just an enormous amount of variety going on every single morning, and it was amazing. It was a great breakfast. We generally eat a big breakfast. We have like a small snack, maybe a very small, sandwich or something for lunch, and then we would have a dinner. So it saved us a tremendous amount of money. I mean, $60, $50 a day times 5, that's $200 if you stay there for 5 days that you're saving just in breakfast alone. So do not overlook when you're staying at a resort. You want to make sure that breakfast is included. If you stay someplace like we stayed, you're going to have a great breakfast, not just toast and donuts and something simple, but this was a hot breakfast. So if you have children, okay, and you're planning on going to Disney or Orlando, I would absolutely recommend staying at what's called Magical Moments Resort. Magical Moments Resort is a Christian resort. That doesn't mean that you have to be of any faith to stay there, because it's really for anyone. But it is so wonderful because it was such a great, everything was very positive. There was signs all over the place that said family is everything, just all kinds of different things at this resort. It was so family friendly, and it was really based for children. So if you have young kids and you're looking for a great place to stay near Orlando, near Disney World parks, this resort, again, it's called Magical Moments Resort, and I will post a link and let you know what it is exactly in the comments. But I highly suggest looking at this resort because it was very, very affordable. And it cost us less than $500 to stay there for the week. That included breakfasts. So, yeah, again, it was just a wonderful place to stay. what I want to say also is that at this resort, it's focused around kids. So obviously, if you have kids, this is the resort for you. There was a place where you could stay. You could be at the pool, and right across from the pool, there was a game room for kids. It was outdoors, but it was covered, and there was like air flowing because they had a huge fan that was blowing to keep it more comfortable. The kids could go in there. There was like 5 video games set up that they could play. There was Legos, just a really, really cute area for kids to play. And you could be at the pool and look directly across and see where your kids were. So again, this was a very, very family focused resort, more for kids than anything else. Um, One of the ways that we saved a tremendous amount of money was I knew that Disney had fireworks every single evening. And when you go to Disney resorts, you want to see the fireworks because the fireworks are a really cool thing to see for kids. The kids love it, and they have also what's called a electrical parade on the water in front of a few of the selected resort, a little bit nicer resorts. The Grand Floridian, for instance, where we went to watch the fireworks from was a Polynesian resort, which is a very, very fancy resort, very pricey resort. But if you know Disney, what you can do in case you've never been there or maybe don't know or aren't aware of it, Disney Springs, which used to be considered downtown Disney, Disney Springs is free for anyone to use the transportation to or from the resorts. And you can go to Disney Springs and park. They have garages, they have um, just regular surface parking that you can go to, and you can park there and you can hop on a bus and take the bus over to the Disney resorts for free. Um, Disney resorts, obviously, if you're not staying there, you can still go there to participate in some of the activities that are going on. Disney doesn't obviously advertise that, but if you are a big fan of Disney and you've been there as much as we have, you learn these little tricks. So what I want to tell you is if you're not maybe going to the parks, we didn't go to the parks this year because we have a lot of other things going on and we just didn't want to budget that in this year. We've been to the park several times. My kids enjoy it, but they really just wanted to swim and have a really good time. So this year we opted out of going to Disney parks. And we did other activities. But like I said, we wanted them to be able to see the fireworks and we wanted them to be able to see the electric parade on water. So what we did is we parked at Disney Springs because it's free to park at Disney Springs. Disney Springs, if you've never been there, basically is a shopping area where you can go, and they have like upscale kind of stores like Sephora and Coach and all these other different places that you can go to. And then they have different shows and all of that too. And there's a couple different rides. Circus Olay is there. So if you're interested in seeing a show or catching a show, so there's the House of Blues. There's a lot of different things just to do at Disney Springs alone. So you can spend the day there really if you wanted to. And you could get a really nice meal while you're there. But you hop, if you park at Disney Springs, you can hop on a ferry. This is also something the kids really enjoy. They have a water taxi that goes, hi Louise, there's a water taxi that goes from one side of Disney Springs to the other. And the kids absolutely love that because it's free. And it saves from walking. So if you have somebody that can't maybe walk the distance, you can go, hi Rach, you can go from one side of Disney Springs to the other side by water taxi, and it's free. And then once you do that, there's also a ferry that you can go to Port Orleans. Port Orleans is a Disney resort. You could take the ferry over there. The kids love to play over there. If you like New Orleans, you would absolutely love the resort. It's beautiful. There's a courtyard. There's a play area for the kids that they can play in. It's really just a really nice ride. If you even just want to take a ferry ride over to Port Orleans, relax there for a few hours with the kids, let them play, um, maybe catch a show if they have a show going on that evening. There's a lot of different things that you can do at the resorts. Now, what we did was we hopped on a bus from Disney Springs. We hopped on a bus and went to the Polynesian Resort. From the Polynesian Resort, you can you can get off the bus, go walk through the resort, and you can go behind the resort. There is a white sand beach. It's beautiful. It's set up. It looks like Hawaii. It's absolutely gorgeous. Um, they have an area where you can relax on the beach. You can let the kids play. There's a little playground area. There are some things that you can't do without a wristband because you have to be a resort member, obviously, to use their water park and stuff. But there are different things that you can do while you're at the resort there. There's a beautiful restaurant that you can go to if you want to have maybe a romantic dinner with your spouse or significant other while you're there. You can do that if you want to do a date night. Just beautiful, and the food is amazing, amazing. So what we did was we went to the Polynesian. We went to where the white sand beach was, and beyond that, there's a ferry that takes you over to, well, there's a boat that takes you over to the Magic Kingdom from there. But if you want, you can sit there. There's benches on a dock that you can sit and watch what's called the electric parade on water. And it's literally right in front of you. If you're sitting there on the dock, it goes literally right in front of you. The kids absolutely loved it. They just were thrilled that they got to see it so up close, and it was on the water. It was a little bit chilly because obviously March, they still have a little bit of, some cool days. But it was such an amazing time for the kids. They loved it. And right after the electrical parade, at 9:15, Disney sets off fireworks. So what happens is if you're sitting there at the dock, you can see the fireworks going off all around right in front of you. And there's music that goes along with the fireworks that they have playing, and the kids just really, really enjoyed it. And nobody's more thrilled with Disney fireworks than I am. I have loved them since I was a little girl. I used to love seeing the shows that they had. So that is another way that you can save money. If you're not planning on going to Disney parks, I highly recommend going to Disney Springs, hopping on a bus, taking it over to the Disney resorts. The Contemporary, you can also see the fireworks from the Contemporary Resort. Um, from the Polynesian, the kids wanted to ride the monorail. The monorail was also free. All Disney transportation is free. So if you hop on the monorail when you're at the Disney resorts, you can take a round trip. The kids, we wanted to do a round trip from the Polynesian. It goes from the Polynesian to the Grand Floridian, to Epcot, the Magic Kingdom, and back to the Polynesian. So the kids absolutely loved that. We watched the sunset over the Disney Castle while we were on the monorail and rode it around back to the resort. It was about a 20-minute, maybe 20-minute round trip. But the kids just really had a great time with that. Um, so what else? Oh, okay. So one of the places that if you're going to Orlando, you're going to be in the Kissimmee area, I highly recommend checking out what's called Wild Florida. Wild Florida is about an hour trip from Orlando or Kissimmee. Um, it is an animal park. It's a gator park. You can go there and really get a lot of one-on-one interaction with animals. There was lemurs, there was parrots, there's a bird refuge where you can go in and you can feed the birds. The kids absolutely had a great time with that. They were able to feed the birds on their hands, and they really enjoyed it. It was a fun time for them. They got to hold a crocodile, which was amazing. But this park was so wonderful. It really was a diamond in the rough. I researched it. I found it on Groupon. They had an amazing offer for 4 people. You could pay 60, well, it originally was 65, and then the day that we went to go, it actually was even cheaper. It was $57 for 4 people, and it included a lunch. So we had park tickets for $57. 4 of us got in the park, and that included a lunch, and it was a wonderful lunch. I got pulled pork sandwich. I had coleslaw, and I believe potato chips came with it. So it was a really nice meal, and a water bottle. So that was amazing. And it was way, way nicer than some of the parks even here, the zoos and stuff, because everything was inclusive. For $57 for 4 people, you just could not, you couldn't do any better than that. That was an amazing deal. And the park was wonderful because, like I said, they also gave you 4 bags of crocodile food, and there were pellets. They were bags of pellets that you throw into the water, and the kids just, they had a great time with that. They were able to feed the crocodiles, and they just had a blast with that as well. So yeah, there's just so many things that you can do to save money while you're there. There was a Dollar Tree literally right beside the resort, the Magical Moments Resort. So we were able to get toys for, like, to play in the pool, and we got snacks while we were there. They're putting in an Aldi's. They're building an Aldi's literally right beside Magical Moments also. So once that's built, you'll be able to get snacks there and other things that you want to make meals out of. Yogurt, nuts, just different things. It's really, there's so many ways to save money. Hi, Shannon. There's so many ways to save money, and honestly, um, you just, you have to really, really think budget wise whenever you're going on vacation. It's not always easy to save money, but there's these tips that you can do. There's ways around everything, honestly. And we had an amazing vacation. We stayed at the resort a lot of the time because the kids, they love swimming, and the weather was gorgeous. Almost every single day it was gorgeous. It was in the mid 70s to high 80, or high 70s to mid 80s the entire time we were there. There were a couple days it was a little bit windy. So if you're planning on going in March, keep that in mind. It still is a little bit chilly in the evenings. Um, you definitely want to take a coat with you, like a heavier coat, if you plan on going in March or even April. Sometimes it gets a little bit chilly in Florida, so definitely keep that in mind as well. So here's what else I wanted to share with you. Before we left for Disney, one of the things that I did was, at the Dollar Tree has these bags, okay? These bags, these Disney bags, little canvas Disney bags, these are like $8 or $10 down at the resort, or well, not the resort, but at Disney World. You can buy these for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And I know that sometimes people like to come back with, like, little gifts for family members, and this is a really, really affordable way to do that. You can still buy things very cheap when you're in Florida. These postcards, this came from, this actually came from Walmart, and they were 86 cents a piece at at Walmart down in Florida at Kissimmee, in the Orlando area. So just keep that in mind. If you go to Walmart or the Dollar Tree in that area, they offer these much cheaper than if you're going to, like, the souvenir stores. Try to stay away from the souvenir stores, and here's the reason why. You have to be really careful when you're shopping at souvenir stores, because if you're not really, if you don't pay attention, sometimes those charges on your credit card, sometimes you can get overcharged. Sometimes they charge you twice. You just have to be aware of some of the tactics that people use. I'm not saying that they're all like that. It's happened to us a couple different times when we were on vacation. So just be careful. Make sure you're checking your credit card statements and your bank statements when you come back from vacation to make sure that everything is legitimate on your cards. That, and you want to be real careful when you're traveling, obviously, too, because people have a tendency um, to scan credit cards. So you want to be careful about that too. I bought the boys these little keychains. This was from Walmart down in Orlando. And this little keychain here was like $2, and it's so cute. It has all the Disney characters on it, and it says 2019. Just something really simple. I got it to put on their luggage so that they could take this back. Just something to kind of remind them of the trip. I thought that was really cute for a couple dollars. It was a reminder of, their trip there. And I bought these little keychain rings. Aren't these cute? One has Mickey and Minnie on it. The other one has Florida and all the Disney characters with the castle on it. These were $1 a piece at the Orlando Walmart. So little things like this save you so much money. Don't shop at Disney. Please don't shop at Disney. For the same exact thing at Disney, these would have been probably $5 or more. So just keep that in mind. There are other places to shop. You don't have to shop at the parks themselves. Take snacks with you. Water bottles, keep them with you at all times. Something to drink. We took juice boxes. The kids had juice boxes. We had tea. My sister bought these before we left. I was going to go to Sam's Club and get some snacks and different things before we left. I didn't have time to do that, but my sister did. She stocked up on Cheez-Its, like the little packets of Cheez-Its. Just there's a lot of different ways that you can save. So be aware of that when you're on vacation, especially. Not even just Disney. This doesn't even just apply to Disney. This really just applies to vacation in general. Plan ahead before you leave. Make a budget list out before you leave that you can follow along with, or that you can at least try to follow to keep the costs down. So all right, that's all I have for you, but I am going to come out with a blog post, and I'm going to share with you pictures and different things about the resort we were staying at, and also the animal park that we went to that was called Wild Florida. And I will provide the link to those in the blog post and in the post below. So if you would like to check those out, you can do so. All right. I am going to be crafting here probably around 2 o'clock. I'm going to go live and do a little craft. So that's all I have. Okay. Have a great. We good to go? Okay. Let you sit down here. Hi everyone. This is my friend April. Hi. I hope you think they can see you? Okay. I'm sorry we're running a little bit behind, but I wanted to do this mason jar craft the other day, and my son had a little bit of an issue. He had to have a tooth pulled because it actually fell out, but what happened is he has braces up top, and where the tooth fell out, the bracket was holding the tooth in his mouth. So he woke up in the middle of the night and came in my room and said, "Mommy, my tooth fell out." And I'm like, "Where's it at?" And he's like, "It's in my mouth." So I'm like, oh, that could be an issue. So yeah, we had to take him to the orthodontist yesterday when I was going to do the live. So, okay. A lot of people have seen these mason jar crafts, and they're really, really simple to do. These were given to me by a friend, and they're used, and that's okay because you can wash them out. They're reusable, obviously. And these ones had the little gold rims on them. And I was going to do a craft, and I think I'm going to save it till later on this week, but I am posting it so in case anybody wants to follow along and do it. There are bird seeds. The bird seeds, have you seen the heart ones? Well, they have the bird seed feeders that you hang outside. Well, they make them out of these. And you put the bird seed in the center and you hang these outside with ribbon. And they're so cute and they're easy, and it's something if you have kids that, you know, want to follow along and do the craft too. It's a great, great craft to do with kids. So before we get started, I'm going to give April one. She's going to do some too. Before we get started, one thing that's really important with these, really when you're working with any kind of glass or prepping anything to paint, you always want to make sure that you prepare whatever it is that you're painting so that the paint adheres a little bit better to it. So what we need to do is, I bought this thing of alcohol. It's just like rubbing alcohol, and we're going to take this and we're going to wipe the jars down really good. You don't need to do the inside. We're just going to do the outside, but that will help to clean them. So if there's any residue or oil, anything like that on them, that'll help to make the paint stick a little bit better. So let me just get this open here. Make a mess. And we are protecting the tablecloth here. We're actually at April's house, so thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's a little bit easier because it's just easier. The kids aren't in here. Her kids are in the other room, so it's really nice. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a couple cotton balls, and we're going to clean off the jars. So, and this is a simple craft too that kids can do also if you have the patience to work with paint and kids. So you're just going to take this and rub it all around. Make sure you get the top of the jar around the rim too. And yes, it is going to smell like a doctor's office.
Oh, yeah, it does.
So
it smells clean.
And April and I have done another craft together. It was actually really fun. It was kind of a last minute thing, but it was still really fun. We put together, how many was it? 25 or something?
About 25.
About 25 sock snowmen, the rice sock snowman for Ella's class. And we, at the last minute, decided to go and get all the supplies to do it, and had to come up with a little bit of a last minute idea to do the hat.
Right.
So we were gluing hats together until probably about midnight, a little after midnight.
It was.
But they turned out so cute, and April said that Ella's classmates really liked it. So
yeah, Ella actually still has hers.
yeah, and I posted a picture of some of those back in, this was like in December, obviously, because it was at Christmas time. So, okay. And then I'll just set those over here. Okay, so if you watch Lizzie and Aaron and all, Lizzie and Aaron have a page. It's called Lizzie and Aaron. They're friends of mine. And they have an amazing, sorry, my apron keeps falling.
Yeah.
We adjusted it, but it still keeps falling. They have an amazing recipe for chalk paint. Really, really simple. Plaster Paris and some water and latex paint. But if you go on their page, and I also posted the recipe, I think, the link to it on my page, it would be a great, great way to save money if you're using chalk paint for refurnishing or refinishing furniture or anything like that. But today I wanted to be simple. So I went to Walmart and I got these 3 paints right here. This is the Waverly make. I've used these for several projects, and I've liked how they turned out. Not the best quality, but I mean good enough for me. I mean, I have ballet slipper here. It's kind of like a really pale pink color. I wanted the jars to be more spring. So because of that, I went with the lighter pastel colors. I have white here. It's just a white base. These are all matte finish. They're chalk paint. And some people have used acrylic paints, and this is cashew. but I like the look of the chalk paint a little bit better. So I'm going to let April pick which color she wants to do, and then I will pick my color. So what's it going to be? Oh, she's going to do the pink. Okay, she's doing the pink, and I think I'm going to go with cashew. Okay. Which works out great because I was going to do cashew anyways. Okay, so we already prepped our jars for those of you who just started watching. Say hello because otherwise I don't know who's here. And I do go back and look at all the comments, so it's nice to know who's watching. So here's some people, it's up to you. Do you prefer a brush or... I'm using the sponge for the paint because I like the look of the sponge. Right. Some people are fine with using, I just got these from Walmart, they're cheap, but some people just like the paintbrush better, but I like to use a little sponge. All this is a little sponge brush. So, okay, so we're gonna open these up. Usually I pour them into something to use, like a butter thing, or here we can use this. I usually use a butter knife, or not a butter knife. I usually use a cup or something to put the paint in, but we don't need to worry about it. I'm just going to paint my finger here while I'm doing this, that's all. Maybe I'll use this to take it off. I'm going to paint my finger. I am using this little apron today because I didn't want to get paint on my clothes, which I hope April doesn't mind. Yeah, I don't want you to get paint on you. But yeah, I'm kind of sloppy. I'm not the best as far as maintaining cleanliness when I'm doing crafts. It's more fun when you get sloppy, right? Yeah. Okay, so we open up our paint. Do you need, I just used one of these little cotton balls.
It's okay. I use the towel.
Okay, so I'm going to put this here, move this out of the way. So now we already painted. Do you want, some people want to, I'm going to move these out of the way, but some people like to use the lids whenever they paint their jars, they paint the lids. I don't plan on using mine today. I mean, you can use them if you want. Some people use them and they paint up to the bottom portion here, and then they put the lid on the top and decorate the lid. I'm not using the lids for this project, and I'm going to use them actually for the bird seeds later this week. If I doubt I'm going to get to them today. So do you want the lids or not?
No.
Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and start applying the paint here. And right now, I'm just going to do the bottom part, and I'll go around the top. I know that it's hard to see where we're painting here at the beginning, but it's going to take probably, I never used the chalk paint for this project, so I'm not real sure how many layers we're going to have to use. It's really your preference. Some people like it a full coverage. I knew I forgot something. I just remembered right now. Do you have any, we don't need it right this very second, but sandpaper or
I don't think
any, like even like a little sanding block or whatever, or an emery board, like a nail file, maybe a nail file?
I think I actually have that.
Okay, because afterwards, I mean, usually what we do, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but usually what I do is rough them up just around where the words are and some of the other parts of the jar that you want to stand out a little bit more, the things that you want to see a little bit better. I like to rough them up a little bit and give them kind of a antique look. Kind of gives it a little bit more character, especially these bell jars, because bell jars, they generally have the measurements on one side for canning, obviously, because that's what most people use these jars for.
Right.
Is canning. So they have the measurement on one side of it, and then they have a really pretty little design on the other side. I think these ones have grapes on them. So if you want to be able to see those a little bit better, and you want the ball, the word mason and ball for the actual name of the canning jars to stand out a little bit more, what you do is we don't have it because of course I had to forget something. I knew that I was going to forget something. But it's nice to have the sandpaper, because the sandpaper is really, and you really only need like a very fine grit sandpaper. I wouldn't use anything like real heavy, and I'm not painting the bottom of this. I'm just picking it up to make sure that I get around the outside edges of it. You want to make sure you get a full coverage here. Okay, so this is chalk paint. Since it is chalk paint, it will dry pretty quickly. I'm going to wait probably and give it maybe one more coat. What you don't want to do really, and I'm going to go around the top edge too. What you want to be careful about is when the chalk paint starts to dry, you want to leave it alone. Because what happens is, especially with the brush, as you're using a brush, it'll start pulling the paint, and it'll actually pull it back off the jar. So you don't want to do that. So once it's on there, you're going to leave it go and let it dry just a little bit before you apply the second coat. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the top here. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready for spring.
Definitely.
I'm ready for spring, and I am all about doing spring crafts right now. So I'm not real big on Valentine's Day, so I didn't really do a lot with Valentine's Day. It's not really my thing. I'm not into like the really girly like red and heart thing. It's just not really my theme. It's not one of my favorite themes. So I went more with, even when I decorate for Valentine's Day, I kind of go a little bit more with neutral palettes. I go with the tans, and the color that I'm actually doing right now really is kind of my speed. I like the farmhouse style, and I like the neutrals usually that kind of follow along with that theme or pattern, I guess, if you want to call it that. So you can already tell, like, in places that mine's starting to dry. I don't know about yours. So, yeah. I mean, it does dry very quickly. You just want to make sure that as it's drying, you're not pulling the paint back off, like I said, because you will do that a little bit with the chalk paint. Takes a little bit of getting used to using chalk paint. If you've never used it before, you're going to find out that it does dry very quickly. So, okay. So I got all around the rim here, and like I said, I'm not using the lids. If you're going to use the lids, you don't want to paint the top part of the jar. The reason being is that it makes it really hard. It makes it really hard to put the lids on. And then obviously the paint's going to chip off. So it really is kind of redundant.
Go grab that.
Okay. It's really kind of redundant to put the paint on the rim if you're going to use the lid. Sorry, my tag's sticking out. Okay, so this is pretty much, it's drying pretty quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting on a second coat. And you want to be careful too, you don't want a lot of drip. So if you get too much drip, you're better off to take a little bit more of the paint off. And we're not going to do all of these today. I just brought them because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 of these, not here and now. I'm just showing you one as an example. But a lot of people will see, they put them in the little, wooden crate things, the smaller wooden crate things. And it makes it really nice because you can decorate the crate and then you can put them in. So that makes it nice too. Okay, so I think it's dry. Sorry, I should have brought a blow dryer. I was like,
I have
that's
blow
okay.
dryer.
I think it's drying pretty quickly anyways. I'm about ready to put, I think I'm going to put a second coat on. It covered pretty good. Looks like yours did too. It covered pretty good.
Yeah, it did. I really like the color.
So yeah, I do. I love that pink. I thought pink is kind of, I'm not really girly, but I love pink, as you can tell because my apron's pink. But yeah, I do like pink and I like whites. And for spring, pink is such a pretty color. And you can get some pretty pink hyacinths or something to put in them, or lilacs or something. I was going to get some artificial flowers to put in them to show you, but I kind of forgot. So it's different when you're in your own space because everything is there,
Right.
and you're not really worried about what you have or don't have because it's easy to grab. So I apologize that I'm kind of not as prepared as I normally. No, that's a lie. I'm not prepared even when I'm in my own space. So not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. Now, the second coat here, you're going to start to see a little bit of pooling if it's not quite dry yet. And all you need to do is let it dry just a little bit. You don't want to have a super thick coat because you'll see drip marks. So that's one thing you want to kind of watch a little bit. Not to apply too much paint because then you'll get the drip marks. Some people like the drip marks though. It gives it a little bit more character.
Right.
So, and you're not going for perfection because let's face it, perfection is boring. I mean, I like my crafts to be a little bit more unique, and honestly, like I'm not perfect. So
Right.
why should my crafts be perfect? I mean, it makes it what it is. It makes it more us. So I'm okay with imperfection. So I want to see everybody else's. So if you do this craft, please post a picture of it because I want to see how they turn out. It's so neat because there's a lot of different things that you can do with mason jars. This is just one of probably thousands of ideas that you can use these for. Really, if you go on Pinterest is so addicting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like a Pinterest addict. But there's so many ideas. Like even this morning, I was like on there looking at some more ideas because my wonderful friend, our wonderful friend Glenda, donated these mason jars to us. And I've been using them for like all kinds of different crafts. And I don't can right now. I would like to learn how to can actually. I've helped to do applesauce. Trying to think what else we canned. Maybe pickles. I think I helped when I was younger. I helped my grandma do canned pickles. That's really about it. Have you ever canned?
No, I haven't.
I mean, it's one of those old school art,
Right.
things.
I think I would enjoy it.
I think that I'm going to enjoy it. I am really, really looking forward to having a homestead and just really being able to make all kinds of really neat things. So kind of like really, really loving. If you haven't seen her page, I really, really enjoy it because she does a lot of old school things. If you're into like kind of going back in time a little bit, she tries to make recipes more from her own farm, and she has a homestead and she lives in Wyoming. Her name is the Pioneer Woman. I think it's the Pioneer Woman. I'm not getting them confused, I hope. Because there's another one that people confuse her with. What she does what's the one from Walmart? She has all the products in Walmart.
Oh.
I can't remember her name.
I can't either, but I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, not to be confused with her though. But I post recipes and stuff of hers all the time. But she has some really, really neat ideas about homesteading recipes and things like that. So here's how it's coming along. Here's the side that has the bell on it. And I think I'm pretty comfortable with the coverage that I've got on there at this point. I don't know how April's coming along over here. It looks like hers has got pretty much covered as well. I think it looks good. Okay, so we'll put this over here out of the way. Gonna give that a couple minutes to dry here. In the meantime, I'm gonna show you some of the other things that we're going to be decorating them with now. And that was, like I said, the Waverly chalk paint. This is cashew, and April has ballet slipper. And I love that color.
It's so really
pretty.
nice.
It's really cute. Would be really nice for like a girl's room. Put little flowers on a nightstand or something.
It really reminds me of ballet slippers.
Yes, they do.
The
exactly. I guess that's why they named it ballet slippers. I got these little heart things.
I love that.
Isn't it cute? I got these little heart things. They're just like ornaments. This was like Christmas time when I got these. And they were clearanced at Gabriel's. And like I said, they were just like 30 cents or something like that. And they're wood. And it's like a really light wood.
It reminds me of like a tree. Like somebody just carved that from a tree.
Exactly. And you know, you could probably put this on something,
right,
and it would look really cute too. But I got them to hang from my window. I got them to hang from my window, the center of the window.
That's nice. I like that.
And actually, I'm not using them for Valentine's Day. I'm painting them a pastel color. Maybe I'll use the ballet slipper for them. But aren't they cute? For like 30 some cents. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. So I'm gonna paint mine while she's painting. And do you want a regular paintbrush?
Sure.
We're going to use a paintbrush on these because we're just waiting for our mason jars to dry. So as they're drying, we'll work on this. We got things to decorate our mason jars with. I'm going to share with you here in a second. I don't know which one's going to work the best here. There's a bunch of different ones to choose from. I don't usually get these ones from Walmart because sometimes the little bristles fall out, but you can pick whichever one you want to use there. I'm getting paint all over me. Okay. Oh no, I got it on your tablecloth.
It's okay.
No. I knew that was going to happen. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Really? I don't know if it'll come out though. I'll buy you a new tablecloth.
No, you're fine.
So yeah, let me see if I can get it out with this.
If it does, that's totally fine.
I think it's coming out. I hope it doesn't damage it, but I think it's coming out. You know what it was is I had it on my finger, and I'm trying not to.
I have this other towel too. We can put it in case.
Well, that's what I was trying not to do because it's always best if you can put newspaper or something down when you're working with any kind of paint. I'm always trying to be careful, but I told her I'd buy her a new tablecloth.
No, you're fine.
If you would only see the things that I get on me during crafts, I sometimes am embarrassed because I'll be like itching my nose, and next thing you know, I've got paint on my nose.
Oh god.
And I'm like, oops, I don't know where that came from. So, okay, so I'm going to use the pink. What color do you want to use for the? I have pink. Where'd the other one go? Oh, this white. Where's the white?
Right there.
I don't know which one you want to use.
I'll go with this one.
Okay.
We can swap.
We're going to swap. I'm going to use the ballet slipper, this pink color here. And she's using, and you could actually, I'm not going to worry about it. If you want to, you can take it off because I have more of this. Do you want to take this off so you don't get paint on it, or would it be easier to paint without it? Because I have more of it. It's not a big deal.
Keep it on.
Okay. I'll try it, and if I get paint on it, we can put a new one in. It might be a little bit difficult to get it back in there unless we have something to poke it through. But yeah, this is a really, my stomach keeps growling. I hope you can't hear it. I'm like, what is going on? It keeps on growling. I didn't eat though. I will
Oh geez.
admit I'm kind of not real good at feeding myself in the morning, but I have my iced coffee. I got an iced coffee. If I don't have coffee, I generally will get these like nasty migraines. So I try to at least have coffee in the morning if I can. It's so nice and quiet here. I'm like, is there really kids here? You would notice my kids in the background because honestly, like, they're always gaming. Whenever I'm on my lives, they're usually on the games. Meaning I have a 10 and 11-year-old, both boys, and they love to play. They got a new Xbox One for Christmas, and they keep getting all these games given to them. A friend of ours keeps getting games off of Facebook flea market, and what he doesn't use, because he'll go and he'll get like 10 games for $40 or something.
Oh, okay.
So the next thing you know, he comes home and he gives the boys like 4 games because he gets them so cheap that if he doesn't like the games that he gets, he'll give like the ones he's not going to play to the kids.
Give it to them.
So over the course of like several months now, but since Christmas time, because they got their new gaming system for their birthday falls a week before Christmas. So they will probably have about 50 games before the end of the year. I don't know how many they have right now. They probably have close to 25 or 30 games because some of them they had from their old system. They had the original Xbox 360, and some of those games don't work with the new system. So just beware if you're planning on buying your kids one for Easter or something. If you have that old system, a lot of the games won't work. So listen to me, gaming mom.
Right.
No, I don't play on the game system, so just to let you know, I'm not a gamer. Now, there is one game that I kind of laugh when they're playing it because it's just hysterical to watch. It's called Cuphead. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I've never heard of that.
It's kind of based off the rejected anime cartoons back in like the early 50s, or it might have been even before that. But there was some cartoons that didn't make the cut. And it reminds me a lot of those. I think that they kind of got the game idea from that.
Right.
I'm not doing the center. Did you do the center?
I didn't.
like that color on those.
It is really nice.
You wouldn't think that cashew would show up on this. I'm going to say this is probably, what do you think? Oak? I don't know what this is, this wood. It actually kind of feels like pine because it's really light.
It does. It is really light.
I think it's pine. And they're just like little, it might be hard to see. I'll show you here when I'm finished. These are little heart ornament things. They're cut out of like some kind of wood. We think probably pine because they're really lightweight. And I'm going to hang mine by the window because I really think that it would be cute up on the windowsill. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I don't know what April's going to do with hers. It's so fun having a craft day together.
Right?
So
I love
excited.
this.
We usually do girls' night. We usually do a movie and hang out with our other friend. I don't know if she's watching or not, but if she is, shout out Stacey.
Right? Hey, Stacey.
So yeah, this is kind of, we did with the kids, but we didn't really do a craft by ourselves. So this is fun.
Right.
And I had plenty of kids the other day I was doing a craft with. I had, there was like, altogether, there was probably 50 kids. There was an event going on, a training, and they needed extra help watching the kids. And I had five college students that were there helping to watch them, and I was kind of supervising them a little bit because they don't all go to church there, but we're close to Grove City College. So we have some students that attend the church from Grove City College, and one of the kids recruited them, kind of recruited them to help out, which was wonderful. They were amazing kids, so I was really happy to work with them. They were really nice. Okay. So that is done, and I will show you. It's kind of, I don't think I'm going to put 2 coats on. I like it the way it is. Just a little heart ornament. Look how cute that one is. I love it. I love the cashew.
It is very
I wasn't
nice.
sure if I was going to like the cashew color because I was afraid it would kind of be more like tan, but I really like it. It's light.
I like it.
It's kind of like a clean,
right?
You know, like a clean color. So yeah, mine's pink and hers. And it's drying really quickly. It's really almost dried on the one side already because this wood is really porous. So, but really cute. I love it. Okay. So that's done. That was simple. And you can actually decorate a little bit more if you wanted to put like a ribbon on it or something, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So back to these. Let's see how dry they are. They're still probably a little bit wet. I'm not sure if the outside's quite dry yet. So we did our mason jars, and we used the Waverly chalk paint if you joined us late. I just got the chalk paint from Walmart. It's Waverly. There's white and ballet slipper and cashew. April used the ballet, the pink color, and I used the cashew color. So that's what we're working with right here. So those are the colors, and you can get those. I think they're like $5 for the big one. They also have small ones if you just have a small project that you want to do with them. They're only like $1.67.
Right.
They're really cheap. So, but like I said, if you go on Lizzie and Aaron's page, and it's literally called Lizzie and Aaron, if you go on their page, they have this amazing chalk paint recipe. So that's something to think about, that if you want to go on there and check that out. I think I did post it to my page as well, so the recipe's on there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get ready here. I have small twine. This is jute. Some just call it twine, some call it jute. This is from the dollar store. And this was just a buck, obviously. But it's a lot smaller. It's kind of like the baker's twine.
Right.
So it's very thin. Some people like the thin ones. I personally like the thicker. It's almost like hemp.
Right.
This actually might even be hemp twine. It's got a little bit more of a grainy feel, like the hay kind of feel. So I'm going to be using this. So I don't know what Miss April wants to use here, but that's what I'm going to be using for mine. And we got these handy little, aren't these cute? These are from Michael's. And they were like, I got them, for those of you who don't know it, Michael's has an app, and you can, this was on sale. So I think I got the military discount with this. Okay. If you're a military spouse or whatever, you can use your military discount, because I think both Joann's and Michael's have the military discount. And actually this was Joann's, I'm sorry, it wasn't Michael's. But these are so cute. These are Westcott. These ones are a little bit cheaper. I also have the more expensive, I can't remember what they're called. There's an more expensive, but they're better.
Right.
I can't even think of what they're called. But anyways, that's where they're from. Aren't they cute? So that. And then, I don't know. A lot of people like to make the little, this is just raffia. And they put a little bow, they make a little bow at the top with the raffia.
Right.
I'm not really big on raffia unless it's more for like fall.
Right.
Fall crafts.
That's what it reminds
me. A lot of people like this and use this for fall crafts. So I'm not going to be using this, but that is something that you could probably use if you wanted to, just to put on the top. And then I have, this is kind of a cheater's. This is a cheating way to use the jute. This is basically, it's basically ribbon. It's the jute, but it's got a sticky back. So a lot of people like to wrap this around the center of the jar. I brought it because I thought it would be cute to maybe even just use a plain jar and then put some of this around it. And then I have something else I'm going to be putting on the inside of it. Sorry. And then I just have a little bit of a ribbon here. This is kind of like a tan. It actually almost looks like cashew ribbon. So we're going to play with them a little bit and these little flowers.
I like that. That's
and these are from Walmart. They have a little sticky thing on the back. So I'm going to probably use raffia and maybe some ribbon and put some of the little, I don't know what they're called. They're just little flowers and they have a sticky back to them. I will probably put just a little bit of glue on the back too, because
make sure it's
yeah. Now, if you didn't want to have this on here all the time, then you could take it off and change it for seasons or whatever,
Right.
and then I wouldn't glue it because you could probably reuse them.
Right.
So
That's a good idea.
okay. So I know. Let's see. Yeah, mine's still just a little bit. We should have done the probably hair dryer. The hair dryer might have made it go a little quicker. Okay, so get these out of the way here. I don't know. What do you think? What are you going to use?
I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll go from what you do.
Okay, so I'm just going to take this first of all. I want to see how much this is going to take. Oh, I see what it is. It starts out like this, and then you peel this piece off. So you're not really going to use this very beginning. You'll probably cut this off. But it's nice because that part didn't get... I was thinking that I was using that and it wasn't sticking, and I'm like, why isn't it sticking? So I don't want to count that, because if I do, then I'm not going to measure it correctly. So take that. Let's see here. Probably can't see around my paints here. Sorry, not real organized at the moment. So what I'm going to do is take this and measure it, kind of wrap it and measure it. Just eyeball it, really. Okay. And I also I didn't do it because it was kind of windy out and it was not really the best time to be doing it. But if you go to Walmart, at least my Walmart had it right now. They have this spray paint that you can make like the, what do you call it? Sea glass.
Oh, okay.
And it's normally $8. It's normally $7.97. And right now, they have some of it clearanced for only, I think I paid $2. I got the pretty blue, that pretty like ocean color of blue. I got that, and I got, it's like a cashew color. And I was going to spray paint these and do a couple of them like that. But honestly, I didn't get it because I was afraid that with it being so windy out, it probably wouldn't work out real good. So all I'm going to do is kind of eyeball this around here. I'm going to start in the center of the one side. It's probably the side that you want to use as the back. And I'm just going to take it and wrap it around. Try to get it as close as I can. Okay. So, and it's so nice to not have to glue it.
Right.
And it has the sticky back. So, I mean,
that.
it's probably not real permanent.
Right.
But if you're just going to set it up on the counter, anywhere that it's not really going to it's just decorative.
Right.
So you don't really need to worry about gluing it or anything. So there's that. And then I think what I'm going to do is take one of these little flowers here. And see, now this one got kind of gypped because the little sticky thing that was on the back of the flower came off. So all I'm going to do is take my cordless glue gun, my favorite thing in all the world right now. I got this off of Amazon, and it was $12.63, I think. But it's so amazing because honestly, I I am horrible with like hot glue. Is just not my friend. But this makes it so much easier when you don't have the cord because the base plugs in. This is the base and it plugs in the back, and then this goes onto the base and it charges and it's heating.
Right.
And as it's heating, you can pick it up to use, and you don't have to walk around with like
Right.
trying to kind of do your thing whenever it's like all over the place.
Right.
So, okay. I don't know what you want to use, but I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take a little piece of this ribbon here. If I can get this plastic off. Maybe. I swear that they enjoy childproofing things to make all of us that do these lives look silly.
Right.
We're like fighting with you. There we go, finally. Okay, so I'm just going to take, I don't know, I'm going to make a ribbon out of it. So maybe I need to make it long enough. I'm just going to we'll just go with what we got here. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to put the ribbon part in the front here. And I'm sorry that you're kind of seeing this on the opposite side, but I'll turn it around whenever I'm done here. Just going to do this. I'm not real good at ribbon making. Just going to warn y'all. Right now, I do this ribbon, if you don't know who Brooke is from Refab, she's also a kind of DIYer. It's called Refab is her page. If you want to check out her page, she has a really, really simple way to make bows. She calls it the Refab bow. Other people have probably done it too, but we just call it the Refab bow. But she shows you how to do the big fancy bows if you want to make them for like special projects and stuff. So this was really, really, and I'm going to, you know what, since this is falling down a little bit in the back, I'm going to go ahead and put just a little tiny piece of, tiny dab of hot glue, just to make sure that my ribbon isn't falling down, because that's what's happening right now. It's falling down just a little bit. Okay. Is that about right?
I like that. That's
okay.
Perfect.
So I'm going to take just a little dab of hot glue. You don't want to use a lot of this because it's going to show through. So I'm just dabbing very little on the back of that to kind of keep it in place. And like I said, you want it in an inconspicuous place, and it's on the back. So you're not going to see it. And then I might put just a little bit up underneath the bow in the front to hold the bow in place. And then if you want, you can trim the edges to a point. I like to have points on my bows most of the time. So it's a really, really simple.
That's really cute.
Really simple. I don't know if you can see it good, but very simple. And it's easy. I mean, it's really a simple thing to do. It takes a couple minutes. And look how cute it is.
Right.
And you can put flowers in it. I have right here, this is some coconut oil, Epsom salt. And I thought this would be a great thing to put in the mason jars if you want to give them as gifts. I would probably use the little jars. In fact, I thought that I brought them, but I don't think I did. I had the little tiny salt and pepper shakers from the dollar store. And they're little jars. And they have the sprinkle lids because they're for salt and pepper. This is fine enough grain that if you wanted to put this in one of those mason jars, those little ones for salt and pepper, this is something that you could do, and you can sprinkle it into the tub. So, isn't that a cute idea? I thought that was like a cute idea. Okay, so there you go. Isn't that cute? I love it. And it's so simple.
That is.
Okay, so do you want to make one?
Sure.
I'm going to painting my jar with my finger here because everything that I touch is getting paint on it. So April's gonna make one of those, and as she's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and show you one of the other things that you can do. And I apologize because I've got like 20 different things going on at one time here. So you need the scissors and the ribbon. And then here's the flowers are sitting here. Okay, so these are drying pretty quickly now. They're almost dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one other thing that you can do if you do decide to use the top. And I'm just going to use it on this one here since it's already done. I will show you what you can make with this little thing. Okay. And I apologize, but do you have a pencil somewhere close by? Me being unprepared as I am.
Sharpen, not sharpen. No.
I'm just tracing something really. That's all. Okay. So a lot of you probably see people will use tissue or the mason jars and make tissue holders out of them. There's a really simple way that you can do that, and if you want to be more decorative, you can. Or you can say that you want to use, you're not using them for canning, because obviously if you're using them for canning, you need to put the inserts in. Because you don't want to just use these like this, because it's not going to seal. So all this is right here, this is something I stole from my sons. It's basically foam. It's just foam, and it has a sticky back to it. So, and I came up with this idea all by myself. Awesome. So I'm really excited that I actually thought of something on my own. I didn't Pinterest this. I just thought, how can I do this? And then I sat there and I made a few last night, and I was like, hey. And also, you could actually make, what do I want to say? Coasters. Because this is a foam thing. So just think of, as I'm doing this, you can make coasters this way also. If you just want something simple to put on the table. So yeah, I'll show you what I mean here in a second. But all I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this lid and I'm going to put it on here on this foam. And you want to put it on the non-sticky side. So right side up. And you're going to take this and you're going to trace around this with the pencil, because all we're trying to do really is we want to size it so that the foam fits inside of here. So I'm going to do that. And this is, like I said, this is such a simple thing, but wait until you see how cute it looks. And you're going to be like, oh, I could do that. That's so easy.
Are we putting this one here? On this jar or on the...
No, here. Sorry, I forgot to give you the new jar. Forgot to give it to you. Okay. So, when she's done with the scissors over here, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do this. But in the meantime, what you also want to do is take the wrong side of your fabric. See how this side has got the bright colors on it? You want to take the wrong side of the fabric and you want to trace around it just like we did with the foam, because we're going to also cut the fabric to match. So I don't want to get paint on the fabric here, so just going to go around the outside of the fabric and do the same thing. You could probably use something like a marker, and you could see it maybe a little bit brighter, because this can be hard to tell when you trace around the fabric with the pencil. It's not as easy to see. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to cut this out, this little circle that I traced. And if you were going to use this for tissues, all you would have to do really is cut like a X design in the top of the foam, and that would give you, like right here, you would cut this way and this way, and then you can pull the tissues up through.
Right.
So I'm not doing that with this because I'm just making this more as a decorative thing. So,
Can I borrow your hot
yep.
glue over there?
Oh, sorry.
All of the stickers are the back ends are coming
That's
off,
okay. That's not a big deal. So we're going to cut the fabric around here to match the little backing of our foam. And you can trim as you go because sometimes this ends up being a little bit too big, and then you just trim around. I'll show you. It's really simple. And this was, like I said, I just was sitting at the table and I was thinking last night, how can I make this like a little bit cuter? Because I have all this scrap fabric and I'm always looking for little things that I can do with this fabric.
Right.
If you go to Walmart, a lot of times they call them, why can't I think? They have like little rolls of fabric sometimes for like 99 cents or 97 cents. It's always that weird number at Walmart.
Right.
But yeah, they have this little fabric squares. Okay, so now what you're going to do is take the back side that had the stickiness. Set that down for a second. Sorry, my nail's not going under it. It's not cooperating. Okay, so this is the sticky side that my finger's on. Okay, so all we're going to do is take the fabric square and we're going to take the right side up and we're going to put it directly onto the sticky side. Very, very, very simple. And this is what we end up with. This little...
Oh, I love that.
And it stays on, and it's really...
Right.
You don't have to glue it or anything, which is wonderful, because sometimes you just don't want to be bothered with glue. Hot glue is really... I mean, if you don't have a lot of time, this is one way that you can do this without having to use any glue. That, and if you're doing a project with the kids, this is something that the kids could do this very simple too. And the little jars are wonderful for like
Right.
for jellies, or if you want to make hand scrub or like hand scrub. Okay, so now watch what happens whenever okay, see, this one is a little bit bigger. I'm going to trim this just a little bit. And you can just go around, continue to make it a circle. Just eyeball a little bit. You're just going to go around and trim it just a little bit, enough for it to fit inside the mason jar. But the reason I use the outside of the lid when I do this is because you don't want it to end up being too small. You can always trim more off if it's too big, but if it's too small, you got to start over again.
Right.
So I always start big. Yes, start big. Okay, so here we go. See how cute this is?
Is
love that not cute? And this fabric was so cheap. It was like 27 cents. I'm almost ashamed to say it, but
Right.
it was so cheap. Now, one thing I am going to do, I'm going to keep this like this because I'm going to add it to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now put some glue around the inside of the lid, and I'm going to put it onto here because I want it to stay inside of here. I don't want it to kind of come out on me, so just be careful when you're using these lids because if you're putting hot glue on them, they get hot. Okay, so you're just going to take it, push it down in here just a little bit to get it to stick to the glue, and there you go.
That's cute.
And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on top of here.
I love that. It adds some more
Isn't
color
that
to it.
cute? So it gives it a little bit of a pop.
Right.
And you can put really anything in here that you want. Sometimes whenever you put it on, it wasn't quite dry. So, but it just gives it a little bit more of a unique look. And it's a simple way to kind of add a little bit of texture to it or design. So, really cute. I love it.
I like that.
Look, April's got hers done. She's all crafty. Oh, I like your bow. Your little bow's cute. I kind of went big. Go big or go home, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. So, did you want to do one with the lid? You want to do the lid? Okay. So, Yeah, and actually it's not sticking really well, but that's okay because it's just decorative really. So here you go. Here's one of the lids, and there's the fabric. So you're gonna trace, but you want to do the outside. Remember, we're gonna do the outside of the lid, around the outside of the lid first. Okay, so yeah, that one is done. And it was so easy and simple to do. And I love how it turned out.
That is cute.
Okay, so now these are dry enough, I think. And I'm going to go ahead, put this back on here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put some jute twine around the top of this. And by jute, I mean this twiny stuff here. We're just gonna cut a little bit. Get these little things out of the way. Yeah, I got these little flowers at Walmart, and I think it was $1.97 is what and you get 6 of them in there for that. And I used these to decorate photo frames. I thought that was a really cute.
Oh, that is a good idea.
So, okay. I'm gonna just kind of eyeball this again and I want the ball side to stick out. And actually, before I put this on here, I forgot the sandpaper, but April brought out a little sanding stone here. You're just gonna go over lightly where you want to distress it a little bit. This isn't normally what you would use. I would just use a light green sandpaper. I don't remember what the number is for the sandpaper, but I have a sanding stone actually that I got from the Dollar Tree, and that would work too. You just wouldn't want to go super hard, over it. Right. But this kind of distresses it just a little bit and kind of gives it a little bit more. It's not quite dry, but I'm going to start anyways. I'm just going to go over it gently. And you're going to see it's going to start to bring out some of the, and like I said, my paint's not quite dry here. Yeah, I'm going to wait a little bit for that side. But this side, I think what it is the more layer of paint you get on it, obviously, the more it's going to take for it to dry. But some parts here are looking dry. I like that. And this is just going to give it kind of more of a little bit of a country feel, a distressed country look. And it kind of brings out the name a little bit more. So you can actually see the ball logo. I'll show this to you a little bit better once
That's really cute.
And then if you want to distress it in a few places, I would do so, but maybe along the bottom here just a little bit. I just want to rough it up in a little bit of places to kind of give it a little bit more of a farm style charm. I kind of went a little bit crazy there.
That's really cute.
Yeah, you might want to wait just a little bit for it to dry a little bit more than I did. But this is what it's looking like. I think it looks cute.
I like it.
I like it with the distress. You don't have to do this stuff if you don't want to, but it's my taste. So.
Or even just do the wording.
Mm-hmm. You're not really going to see the back of them unless you put it in a place where, the center of a table where you're going to be on both sides. But for this, more for me, I'm going to have them sitting somewhere where you're not going to see the back. Otherwise, this is still a little bit too wet. I don't want to do this part yet because it's still a little bit too wet because of the back side. But that's what it looks like on the front, and I really like it. I like it with the distress. And actually, most people will go around the top too and distress the top just a little bit. that's what you get. That's what it's going to look like once you get the distressing done. And like I said, I would just use a little bit of sandpaper for that. Okay, so now I'm going to take this twine and I'm just going to make a little bow at the top. I'm not going to get too crazy because I like the simple, kind of the simple look. You could wrap it once, you could wrap it twice if you wanted to. Whatever, you know, your taste is. I'm going to wrap it around once and then tie it in the back here. Like that. And then I'm just going to snip these off. Okay, so there we have that, and that's not done yet because I'm going to also take one of these little flowers and I'm going to glue one on the front. I think I'm going to put it probably right in the center in the front. And you don't have to do this step if you don't want to. You could just tie a ribbon around it like I did on that other one. But actually, I think what I might do, let's see, I think I'm going to use two.
I like that.
And there you go.
That's super cute.
And it's so easy.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit easy to please, but I thought that was so cute.
Can I burn that? Can I burn your hot glue?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Okay, so that's really all I have for you today. Miss April's going to finish up on hers over here. But again, if you want to tune in later on this week, I'm going to do the little bird seed mason jar lids. What I'm going to do for that is I'm going to just put the ribbon around them and we're going to put the bird seed in the center, and you can hang these out for the little birds in the summertime. So we did these little hanging heart ornaments that I'm going to put up on the windowsill. And then we did the mason jars with the chalk paint. So I think that's all I have for you guys.
Did you want to do a Q&A if they have any questions, or?
Yeah, if you want to go around, if you want to hold it for me, and that way it's probably easier to see. I don't know if there's anyone on, if anyone was commenting at all. April's going to hold the camera for me for a minute, so if you have any questions or comments that you want to ask or whatever, if not, then I'm probably done for the day. But I hope you enjoyed it, and if you get a chance to do this craft, please post pictures. Please, please, please. I want to see.
Erin Phillips said she loves the apron.
Oh, thank you. I love it. It's my favorite, and it's the first time I've ever worn it, and I've had it for like probably 10 years. That's what happens when you're a military wife and you move around, because everything gets thrown in boxes and you don't really find them until 20 years later.
We have Lizzie. Lizzie said she shared and she wants to know how you are.
Thank you, Lizzie. You should be getting your, Lizzie actually won, last week. She won the little Valentine's giveaway that we were having. So yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for sharing. And also check out Lizzie and Aaron. Their page is called Lizzie and Aaron. It's on Facebook. They have an awesome recipe for chalk paint. So if you have a big project to do and you want to save some money on the chalk paint, you can make it yourself. So
Lizzie is asking, did you get your gnome?
No, I don't think I did. Not yet. That's okay. I'm waiting. He's taking the long way around. He's taking a trip. Lizzie and Aaron did a giveaway a couple weeks ago. Well, maybe a week or so ago. I can't remember exactly, but I won a garden gnome. We were having fun on her live, so I got the garden gnome, but that's why she was asking. So, April, I want to thank April for having me because she had us here at her house and we made a little bit of a mess. I made a bigger mess. She's much neater than I am. So, but thanks for having us over here to do this. I'm really excited. It was fun.
It was fun.
Had a great time. So, all right, guys, I think that's all I have. And please like and share the page if you haven't. And we're going to be doing some more crafts later on this week coming up. So thanks a lot. Have a great day, guys. Hi, everyone. I wanted to jump on here today. I wanted to talk to you about a few things. I'm really excited because honestly, I was introduced to a couple things earlier this week, and a friend of mine, well, a couple friends of mine actually, and you might know them, Lizzie and Aaron, and I had a three-way discussion on Messenger about some things, but I wasn't really aware of all of these things. Sorry, I'm sitting in my car because I wanted to do this. If you're just jumping on, say hello. Let me know who you are and where you're from. That gives me, that helps me out a lot because it's nice to know who's watching the lives. So what I wanted to talk to you about today, just briefly here, is that there are some apps that you can download on your phone. I have a couple different phones, but I use an iPhone sometimes and Samsung other times. So I use an Android and an iPhone, so you can find these apps, I think, on both, but I would check them and see. There's an app called Flip. It's F-L-I-P-P. This app is pretty incredible because you can go on there and it has just about every store that you can imagine. You can go on there and pick the stores that you shop at the most. And what it does is it pulls up the ads for that store for that week that's going on. I think it goes back like a previous week, and it lets you know on the sales that are coming up. Now you can open the ads from those stores right on this app. And then what it lets you do is you can click on an item from the app itself. Say Bounty paper towels were on sale. Hi, April. Say Bounty paper towels were on sale and there was a coupon for them. You could click on that item and store it on this app so that when you open up the app again, it will literally take you, it'll show you all of the different things that you want to shop for. Now, like I said, you can download, there's like store after store after store. I think I put on it Walgreens, Target, Big Lots, Ollie's, just a huge amount of stores. And these stores like always have new sales and coupons. They have digital coupons, some of them, but it lets you pick out the things that you need to purchase from that store before you actually go to the store. So when you get to the store, or you're doing like me, I try to do all my shopping in one day. So that day of the week, I'll click on my app to see where everything is going to be, where I'm going to have to go to purchase whatever for that day and what coupons I have to use. So it does all of the legwork for you. Now, obviously, you got to go through the ads and you got to click to see like what's on sale for that week and where the coupons are at. But you can actually link your rewards cards as well. Like CVS is on there, Walgreens, they all have reward cards. So what happens is, as soon as you use the app, the rewards will go on your card. So it links it back and forth, which is amazing. So check it out. It's called flip.com. Wow, Flip is the app. So it's F-L-I-P-P. But you can look at it on the iPhone App Store. Like I said, I don't know if it's on Android or not. It might be. I don't have it on the Android. I just had it on the old iPhone. But check it out because it's truly an amazing app. And I just discovered it and I was so blown away by it because it's truly helpful. It helps me narrow down. And a lot of people don't get all the sales ads. So you really don't know what's going on throughout the weeks. If you're not getting those sales ads every week or you're not buying a newspaper and you don't know where these sales are going on, then it's hard to know where to go. You know, you don't want to go to every single store to see what's on sale. And then also you're not always pulling up, coupons, digital coupons from your phone. Like Dollar General has the digital coupons right on their app. Some of the other stores do too. But with this, it really combines all of those things. So it really makes it a lot easier. So check it out. Like I said, it's Flip, F-L-I-P-P. Okay. So this is what Lizzie and Aaron and I were discussing the other day. I'm going to get a little bit more in depth with this, probably this weekend. I'll probably do a live on it maybe this weekend. I want to give people a chance to learn about it a little bit. I'm going to kind of give you just a briefing of it. There's something that's called penny sales, okay? Or penny shopping, whatever you want to call it. There's different stores that do this, but the one that I'm most familiar with now after talking to Lizzie and Aaron, I've done a lot of research on it, is Dollar General. Now, what this is every Tuesday, I believe a new list comes out, and there are items on there that go on sale. And actually what happens is they're supposed to pull these items from the shelves. They're given a list saying these items need to be taken off the shelf. So what happens is if the items are still on the shelf, sometimes they turn into penny sales. They're not supposed to be there. So it's not something you go in the store and you say, hey, where's all these penny deals? Because obviously they're not going to tell you because they're not supposed to be on the floor. The items are already supposed to be pulled from the shelves. But if you find them, their policy is they have to sell you them. They have, I'm not going to, like I said, get into great detail, but they have different sales. The one is like 10%, and then it goes the whole way up to like 70%, which is a brown dot. They have a color-coded dot on their merchandise. Like right now, today, for instance, I got pillows for the boys that were like $8 originally, and they were brown dot items, so I got them for like $2.10. They needed pillows. They're nice pillows. They're character pillows that they absolutely love. One was Mickey Mouse and the other one was Marvel. And then I got a pair of pants that match the jacket that I bought Avon the other day for $4.50. It was clearance 70%. It was $15, and I bought it for like $4 and something. I found a pair of pants that matched the same jacket for only $1 today. So, and I got several other things. But you also want to watch the brown dot when they put things up for sale, especially seasonal items. Dollar General generally will like market down all of their seasonal items. Now there's some things obviously you got to watch because after they go to a penny, sometimes they'll jump back up. But the penny lists are available. There are some Facebook pages that have the penny list, but there is an app. It's called Penny Finder, I believe. I actually paid for it on I paid for the app because it was well worth it. It tells you what Tuesday, like the new lists that come out. It'll tell you with the items that could possibly go to a penny. Don't ever go in the store and say, like I said, you don't ever want to go in the store and mention it because it's really hush hush. A lot of people don't know about this, and they're not supposed to know about it because all these items are supposed to be pulled, like I said. But their policy is if it's on the floor and you find it, they have to sell it to you. So if you have 50 items that ring up for a penny, then quite literally they have to sell it to you for a penny. So it's a really great thing to look into if you're a bargain shopper. It's not easy. I'm just going to say that. I'm new to this. This is something that Lizzie and Aaron just introduced me to. I've probably been in, I'm going to say like 8 or 10 Dollar Generals, and just this week alone, looking for, they had the curry K-cups. They had the seasonal blend, the caramel, and a couple other things that went down to a penny. And you got to get them before they get them all off the shelf or they're gone. I've seen people go in and got like 50 some of them. Other people are finding a couple here and there because sometimes they get stuck behind stuff and they don't find them, or they get put in a different section in the store. So there's always like things that get missed, and you really got to search. It's not easy because you do have to search sometimes for these things. I look in the clearance section. I look where the items generally are, where they usually are. And if they're not there, then I'll, go around and look at the brown dot specials and all the clearance specials that they have. But I'm going to get into this a little bit more in depth this weekend, and we'll talk about it more this weekend. So if you haven't seen it, Target is offering 40% off, I believe, their lawn and garden stuff, their patio sets. So that's something you might want to look into if you're looking into stuff for spring and, patio sets. Home Depot. Home Depot has some amazing sales this week. They have like dollar flowers. They have potting soil. There's a bunch of different ones. Hip to Save. I go on there. If you're not following their page, you might want to check it out. It's called Hip to Save because they also, they're great because they're always posting new things that are on sale too. So anyways, I'm done. I just wanted to hop on and talk about the penny sales and some of the clearance stuff that I got this week. So check out the Dollar General, and if you find some brown dot deals, take a picture and show me what you guys get, because I would love to see what you haul home. I've had probably a grand total of $50 to $80 worth of Dollar General stuff this week that I've paid tops like $20 for. So some of it was probably like at full price was $20, just one item. So I did really good as far as that goes. So anyways, check it out. We'll talk to you guys later.